In today's video, which will be the second in our series around navigating, managing Vendor Central, we're going to look at one of the most crucial aspects of managing an efficient vendor operation, and that of course is reporting and checking on your sales performance. Vendor Central has got a dashboard specifically for looking at sales, inventory levels, etc. It's quite rudimentary, it's not the most advanced reporting platform that's out there, but it's really essential that anybody who's managing Vendor Central has got a good grasp of this dashboard, and in particular what metrics it's communicating to you, because the abbreviations, the kind of terminology that is used for measuring Vendor Central performance is quite different to really most e-commerce channels. So this is a really important video. There's a couple of tips in here which are kind of essential, kind of must-knows to ensure that you are fully comprehending what's going on with your sales on this channel. So I'm going to dive in. I really recommend you stick this one out because it's very important. So here I am logged into one of our clients' Vendor Central accounts. This is the main screen. So to get to here, you would literally just click on the Vendor Central logo up here. The navigation has changed a bit recently, but what we're interested in is the side menu, reports and retail analytics. This is broken down into a few different sections. If you're not seeing all of these, there's a common reason for that, and I'll explain in this video what you need to do to make sure these show up. But you will be able to, at the minimum, see sales. Now, this, as I mentioned, is a fairly rudimentary dashboard. There isn't any kind of visualizations. It's purely just a kind of numbers, tabular based report, but it has a lot of kind of key information which is going to be really important for you to look at on a regular basis. So first thing to consider is the time frame. If we choose any sort of specific time frame that's offered, for example daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly or yearly, it will revert to the previous full version of what data is available. So if it's daily, there's typically a lag on here, so it's probably going to show you the results from around 2 days ago. If it's weekly, it's going to show you last week. If it's monthly, it's going to show you last month, last quarter, last year. If you want to sort of view metrics that are, for example, week to date or month to date or year to date, you would choose this option and then select the look back window. So for example, you might be interested in the year to date performance. If you wanted to get a trailing view, for example, what's happened over the last 4 weeks, 13 weeks or 12 months, you would go with this trailing option. Typical one for us is monthly, because we report to all of our clients on at least a monthly basis. So if we select monthly, you can choose the month here and also the year. So it's showing me last month because that's the full previous month of data that's available. Do you want to view by ASIN, brand, category or subcategory? We usually leave this at ASIN because that's going to give you a full product list which you can then export and do whatever you need to do with it. Now, really important point is this distributor view. This is probably one of the most confusing and misunderstood aspects of actually the whole of Vendor Central, let alone just the reporting. So if you're not seeing this, then you're also probably not seeing these options. And that's because manufacturing view is only made available to brand owners. Now, the vast majority of vendors these days are also brand owners, and it's usually just a case of opening a ticket with support and saying, please can you activate manufacturing view in our retail analytics. Really strongly recommend that if you're not seeing that currently, because otherwise you're going to miss out on some additional dashboards here. Confusingly, when you are viewing these reports, you should always be primarily focused on the sourcing view, And the reason for that is because the sourcing view shows the sales for your products that have come via your vendor account. Now, if that's a bit confusing, I'll explain it slightly differently. So if Amazon have ordered products from you via this account through purchase orders, any sell out of those products will be shown in this sourcing view. What manufacturing view does is that it pulls in sales from potentially other vendor sources, and this can cause a whole lot of confusion. Often there's not a huge disparity between the figures of sourcing and manufacturing view. If there is, then you've potentially got a problem whereby Amazon are sourcing certain parts of your catalogue from another vendor for less, i.e. cheaper. If that's the case, then you need to dig in a bit deeper, and we can certainly advise and help you try and work out what's going on in that situation. But for everyday or kind of common reporting purposes, I would really try and ignore this manufacturing option and always choose sourcing. Only go for manufacturing if you have a feeling that there's some other activity going on around your products elsewhere on the channel, but certainly do not rely on this as a measure of your account performance, because it's not. That's sourcing view. So yeah, I hope I've made that point clearly enough. If there's any clarity you need on that, please contact me directly. Final option here is program view. Occasionally you will see other options in here such as business, fresh, but retail is where most of the action is going to be. If you've got some activity on business and fresh, then it's often good to have a look at those other options and see what's going on there. But generally, these settings are going to serve you for your most common reporting purposes. So view by ASIN, sourcing distributor view, and retail program view. So once you've selected all those, there's also some other options down here. So if you select prior period and year over year, it's just going to show you a sort of percentage increase or decline, comparing it to the relevant previous period. So you can select those as well. If you click apply, that's going to start to pull the data through, and you might want to scroll down a bit, and then you're going to see a full product list with some different metrics. So you've got your ASIN, product title, brand. If there's an issue with the brand name, you can often spot it here. And then you're going to be looking at a few different metrics in here. So shipped revenue and shipped COGS are your kind of most important metrics, really. Shipped revenue is the value of goods that Amazon has shipped out to their customers at their selling price, whereas shipped COGS stands for shipped cost of goods sold. That's measuring the same sales but using your cost price as the measure. So to clarify, shipped revenue is the amount that Amazon has sold at the price they're selling at to their customers. Shipped COGS is those same sales, but the value is represented by the amount that they've paid you for those goods. So shipped cost of goods sold. So shipped cost of goods sold is probably going to be the metric that you're most interested in, because that is the equivalent of a sell out metric. That's basically saying this is what Amazon sold of our product within this particular period. You've then got the actual number, so it's going to give you a value for shipped revenue and shipped COGS. One very big caveat with shipped COGS is that it doesn't include any of your trade terms or kind of contra COGS agreements. So often on an account, they're going to be probably between 10 to 20%. So if you want a really accurate view on what money you've actually made from these sales, then you need to download this data and kind of layer in those percentages. We've also got ship to units, which is exactly what it says on the tin, and you've also got customer returns. There are some other columns in here. There isn't really anything else that's going to give you any kind of sales metrics, but there's different ways of identifying products through their barcode, parent ASIN category, etc. So yeah, that's the main run through really of the sales dashboard. If you want to download this data, you can just hit Excel and it will start to generate that in the background, and you can click on this tab. Once that's ready, you'll be able to download it from there, which is probably how most people are going to be interacting with this data. If you want to kind of pop in every so often and just get a kind of top level view of what's going on, then this is fine for that. But if you want to go a bit deeper, start pulling more kind of detailed business intelligence together, then you would obviously download that into an Excel, and it's just going to match the format you see here. So that's just a whistle-stop tour of what's likely to be the most important aspect of the retail analytics dashboard, the one where you're going to be able to see what's happening with your product sales, sales out, general trends week to week, month to month, year to year. There are other aspects of retail analytics that I'm going to cover in other videos, but I do recommend you spend some time on the sales dashboard that I've just shown there to really familiarize yourself with the metrics, understand what's going on, and develop the relevant workflows that are going to work for your business in terms of reporting and measuring performance. It's worth mentioning that the retail analytics dashboard is quite basic. As I said, there's no visualizations. The third-party platforms out there that can potentially do a better job are few and far between and tend to be quite expensive. As a vendor central focused agency, we're obviously providing detailed reporting to all of our clients. Some of that is through automation, but a lot of it is also through bespoke reporting. We're able to create reports that match the requirements of our clients in terms of how they're reporting things internally. But irrespective of whether you're using an agency or a third-party tool, it's really important that you understand the fundamental measures that are used in Vendor Central to gauge success. There's a lot of abbreviations and measures in there that are confusing and in some cases irrelevant. So what we'll be doing in future videos is looking at some of the other modules within retail analytics. Inventory is an important one because that's going to be showing you what stock Amazon are holding. Similar to that, you've got forecasting, which gives a view on what Amazon expect to sell through their platform, which can be useful for you when you're trying to model forecasting for your own stock. And then there's some other key dashboards in there, such as traffic, net PPM, catalog, and there's also real-time sales, which to be honest doesn't add much value. But yeah, we'll cover those in future videos, so thank you for watching this far and look forward to seeing you on the next one.